Hello. Uh, of course now my neighbor just fucking revving that engine out. Don't know if you guys can hear that. So, uh, it's me, Sunny Lion, by myself. This is the Sunny Cast. It's just me today. So, we were supposed to record the podcast, and then we didn't, and then we were supposed to do it again, and then we didn't. And I was like, yeah, you know what? Fuck, I'll just do it myself, cause I don't want my friends to feel like they're obligated to do the podcast. I think this was my idea. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. But I don't. This is supposed to be something we're doing for fun. So I didn't want anyone to be like, man, like I have to do the podcast. You know what I mean? Yeah, that was never what this is supposed to be about. I wanted to do the podcast because it was a good chance to catch up and talk to my friends, which is what it's always been about. But here we are. It's just me. It's the Sunny Cast today. If you don't like it, that's cool. Turn in next week. It's fine. I know I hate the sound of my own voice as well. Feel free to skip this one if you like, because it's just gonna be me today. Yeah. Excuse me. I have some water around here. Yeah, so I don't really have a plan of what I'm going to talk about. I never really do. I have a rough outline of like one conversation topic, because then we'll just, talk and do our thing. And then I check my email as we're fucking doing the podcast, and then I see that we only have like one or two fucking fan emails, which is par for the course. We're not really big yet. I'm surprised we get that many. Drink some water. What a great podcast. What a great start. So what are we gonna talk about today? I don't fucking know. Let's see. Movies. Yeah. The movie moment. Sure, that's what we'll call it. What have you been watching? The waifu and I have been watching this box set. Hold on, I can go grab it actually. Hold on 1 second. It's like it is a classic 50 movie feature of horror classics from with like Vincent Price, Boris Karloff, Bela Lugosi, Lon Chaney Sr., and many more of your favorite old actors. It's got over 62 hours of classic terror. I mean, hold on, I can do that better. Over 62 hours of classic terror. That's kind of bad. Whatever. Anyway, it's got literally like a bajillion dumbass movies from a million years ago, and they're all amazing, and it's great. And the wife and I have been watching those. Just to name a few, we got The Amazing Mr. X featuring Turhan Bell. Really, dog? I don't know if you guys can hear the dog. Our neighbor's dog, he goes fucking crazy, dude. Adam Age Vampire featuring Alberto Lupo. Attack of the Giant Leeches. That was a good one with Ken Clark. Good movie. And then The Bat with Vincent Price. Vincent Price was way too good of an actor in that movie. Let's be real. The Corpse Vanishes featuring Bela Lugosi. That is the shit that happened. That was a movie. Anyway, Giant Gila Monster, House on Haunted Hill, which is also an amazing Vincent Price movie. Have you seen House on Haunted Hill? Okay. I'll get to this in a second. I'm gonna have to put that little knock on that. I'm gonna talk about fucking House on Haunted Hill. The Indestructible Man, Invisible Ghost, King of Zombies, Last Man on Earth, Last Woman on Earth. I don't know which one came first. Little Shop of Horrors, Metropolis, Night of the Living Dead. Wow, really? Nosferatu, Phantom of the Opera. This is shit I haven't gotten to yet now. The Screaming Skull, Shriek of the Night, Swamp Women. And the funniest part is, if you can actually see these movies, they're all in like there's no text on any of them. You don't know what's in any of the movies, right? Like they're just blank discs, like blank CDs, with nothing written on them, and the things that they're carried in are these black little envelopes, and it feels like this is like we got a bootleg. Like if you ever gotten a bootleg movie, which I'm sure hundreds of you have. I mean, we don't have hundreds of listeners, but everyone's gotten a bootleg movie. Everyone had a bootleg movie guy. Let's be real. Like if you've ever gotten a bootleg movie and it's just like this, like that, like those little white envelopes, but it's all black, and there's no text on the CD, and it's actually like two sides. Like you have to flip it over. I don't know how or why that works at all. And cool, now that guy's starting his motorcycle. Oh yeah, it's totally gonna register. It's fucking loud. I apologize for that. I can't control when my neighbors do shit. Anyway, these fucking movies are fucking legit, and my friend Xavier Sukiyaru gave them to me because I don't know. I guess he didn't want them, but I fucking love this shit. You know what I'm saying? that shit's my jam. The waifu and I watched those together. It's great. It's a great time. Her little cousin's gonna be coming over. I guess when I'm recording this today. And we're gonna probably watch more. She's like 6, but she's cool. She hangs. We watched The Thing on like 2 days ago, and it was me and her, and that was dope as fuck. She was having a grand old time. She's a weirdly mature little girl. I don't really know about kids today because I don't know anything about children. But she watched The Thing and was like completely unfazed. She didn't even have like nightmares or anything. That movie fucked me up when I was her age. I don't know, kids today made us tougher stuff than I was. Okay, but how's it on Hill? So, my mother's birthday is like on the 30th at like 7 p.m., like real late into the thing. I guess that's when her birth moment was, but her birthday is October 30th. But we always celebrate on the 31st because she loves Halloween and scary movies, and that's part of the reason why I love Halloween and scary movies. And, like... Every like 30th and 31st is pretty much we just kind of hang out with our mom and watch a bunch of horror movies, and we'll watch this can't talk. We'll watch the same specific 2 each time. I mean, we watch a handful, but like the same 2 that we watch are the same every time, which is House on Haunted Hill, the old ass one that's in black and white and is fucking baller as hell. And it's got like the old granny on wheels that they kind of drag across the screen. I know you guys don't know what I'm talking about unless you've seen the movie, but it's amazing. And then right after that, we watched the like 1980, 1990 House on Haunted Hill. Okay, cool. He's done revving his fucking engine. And like it's cool because we do it together, you know. And then we watch I Know What You Did Last Summer, which I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who's seen. Anyway, we watch those together, and it's a whole thing. Oh, fuck, what the hell? Oh, hold on, 1 second. Anyway, and then we watched You Know What You Did Last Summer, which is a pretty cool flick. You know, it's a good watch. Ow, Maya. Ow, Maya, no scratchies. No scratchies. That's my dog, she's scratching my leg, she wants to go up. Like on my lap, and I'm recording, and she'll, like, lick her cooch all up in the mic. My mic is pretty low right now. I'm sorry if you... Oh, God, don't tell me you're barking right now. Yeah, he's barking at nothing. I'll be back again. Sorry, guys. Real sorry. Just a moment. Okay, alright, I'm back. Apologies. Oh, god damn it. That guy keeps revving his motorcycle. And, you know, I know that guy, and we're actually, you know, compañeros. I don't know if I said that right. We're decent friends. He's a cool guy. He's a good guy. He just revs his motorcycle very early in the morning. He's a good guy. We're friends. I look out for his dog sometimes. Sorry. I don't remember where I was. Fuck, it's way too early in the morning for me to be recording this. Whatever. Sorry if I keep smacking my lips. I don't really know why I do that, and I hear myself doing it in recordings a lot, and it's like, shit, why do I do that? Anyway, my bad. What else? Anyway, I've been watching those horror movies. Yeah, this is still a movie moment. Um, I watched. Oh, actually, instead of recording the podcast, we actually just watched B movie. The meme, that whole meme that's been happening, like 2-3 months ago. I was like, man, I never actually seen the B movie, and they were like, don't, it's terrible. And I was like, let's watch the B movie, and they were like, don't, it's terrible. And then we never did until last night, where I was like, let's just fucking watch the B movie, and then they were like, no, please, and I was like, let's do it, and they're like, ah, fuck. That movie actually wasn't like, super terrible bad or anything. It was just like, what's the word I'm looking for? It was like misguided, I guess. Like, I think Jerry Springer is a funny guy. He has the capacity to be funny. I like Seinfeld a lot. That was a funny show. Jerry Springer. Jerry Seinfeld. I watch a lot of daytime television with my grandmother sometimes. Anyway, I think he's a funny man. He can be very funny. But that movie is so nonsensical and stupid on so many levels that it becomes very hard to enjoy at times. Especially if you have like a logical way of thinking, like a few of us do. Specifically me and our buddy D-Time, who's been on the podcast once or twice. Like, it's just so frustrating. like the very first thing in the movie starts off with like, beyond all aerodynamic science and human relative thinking, the bee should not be able to fly. And it's like, hold up, that's already very wrong. And then it's just like, their tiny little baby wings are not strong enough for their fat little bodies. But bees do it anyway because they don't care what humans think. And it's like, okay, hold on, stop. This is very untrue. That's not how that works at all. And then the movie starts, and it's like, oh god, here we go. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of shit. Like, you have to go in. The best way to think of it is you had to going into a movie like you would go into, what's that new one? There's no one here to help me. Ooh, god, this is embarrassing. The Seth Rogen, he's a hot dog, sausage party, yeah, there you go. You have to go into it like Sausage Party, where you're going into, like, you're not expecting fucking Mozart and fucking, high class, quality content here. That's not what you're going into a B movie for. And I think that was my biggest mistake, because, I went into that shit, expecting something halfway decent, and, it being, kind of garbage. But it was just this, like, no, you're getting a lot of shit wrong, and, like, you had to go in expecting the over-the-top nonsense and stupidness, and, being willing to accept that as you go into the movie. You have to suspend your disbelief. You have to suspend your disbelief. I can't talk this early in the morning. You have to suspend your disbelief from the very get-go, or else, you're probably not going to have a good time. But there's a lot of little things and a lot of little charming things to that movie that are actually not bad. Like, the heart was there, and you can feel that. Like, every bee, every bee in that movie either has a buzz cut or like the little hive haircut from like the 50s. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's cute. That's good. That's a nice way to save money on assets. Someone worked hard to do that. But the problem is that there's a lot of jokes in there that aren't good. Like, there's only maybe one or two, maybe 3 times in the movie where I actually got like a good that was a really bad fake laugh, but like, I got a real chuckle out of me. Most of the time in the movie I was getting like a like a little like, that's all right, that's or they make you smile. It's not really like a laugh out loud moment. There's some pretty good things I liked about it. Like, there's some really good, like, little, this is obviously Jerry Seinfeld moments, you know what I mean? Like, a good example is there's a part halfway through the movie. I'm gonna spoil the B movie. I don't give a shit. Where Jerry Seinfeld is in the bathroom, and he's a little bee for anyone who's never seen the movie. And then the antagonist, which is the human girl's boyfriend, who wants to murder him because he's jealous because human slash bee relationship is a thing that happens in this movie because it's stupid. He, he comes in and he's holding like a newspaper. He's holding a magazine, right? And Jerry is just like, oh, hey, man, what you got there? And he's like, oh, it's a magazine. And then Jerry's just like, oh, yeah, wow, that's a lot of pages. And he's like, no, I fucked it up. He's like, oh, man, what you got there? And then the bad guy, the antagonist, is just like, oh, it's a magazine, Italian Vogue. And then Jerry's just like, oh, yeah, that's a lot of pages. And then he's just like, yeah, well, it's a lot. It's mostly ads, you know how these things are. And he's just like, oh, yeah, I get it. Like that little stuff where they have like these little moments of, quick witty talk. That's always good. That's what Jerry does very well, I think. But that movie definitely has issues beyond its ludicrous plot, because like Jerry Seinfeld is a decent actor. I think he's a good actor if he wants to be. He is not a voice actor. His voice acting chops are not there. Like a lot of people just assume, like, oh, he's an actor, he can be a voice actor, but that's not true. That's not how that works. And like his performance at times is just like, oh man. And I think John Goodman has a part, like a small part, and the small part that he's in is fucking like, really. It's my neighbor's dog. Yep, there he goes. Wolf away. I'm gonna fucking go check IMBD right fucking now, because I need to know if it actually has John Goodman. I say that because like in the small like John Goodman's done a couple. Yeah, it does have John fucking Goodman. I fucking knew it. It actually does have like the parts where fucking John Goodman is in, because he's he's really good at acting, and he's also a really good voice actor. And like the couple things that he does, even if it's like a bad movie, like he was in Transformers, he was a good voice actor in that tripe ass shitty fucking movie. Fucking hate Transformers. I don't have them talk about that right now though. Anyway, the B movie. Where John Goodman like does a great job, and then like the buddy to Jerry's character in the movie is like, I'm so mad, and like it's so bad because like the difference in acting quality is so high and it's so palpable in the film, and that's just one of the many little things where it's like this is an issue. Not to mention like everyone has DreamWorks face, and the bees look fine. I will give them that. The bees look incredible. I mean, for like an animated movie, not incredible, but well done. But a lot of the humans are just like, like they're really bad. So the B movie is maybe like a 6 out of 10. Don't go into it expecting something watchable. Go into it expecting something, well, yeah, that could be fun. You know what I mean? Don't go in. You're going in like you're gonna go in and watch Troll 2. You're not looking for a masterpiece here. You're not watching Citizen Kane. You're not watching Schindler's List. You're watching fucking B movie. All right. We watched that. I didn't expect to talk about B movie for that long. I'm sorry. Let's talk about games. What have I been playing? Hey, Sonny, what you playing? I'm pretty sure that's stolen. I can't do that. We'll find a name for this part. I've been playing not as much as I want. I've been working on my book. I'm also pretty busy in the week. And I feel yeah. Who knows? It's my shit. Anyway, we got I've been playing probably the most time into Warframe. That's a really fucking good game. Warframe is this amazing game that is weird because, like, I played that shit maybe 2 years ago. I don't remember when, like a while fucking back. Excuse me. Back when that game like very first came onto Steam, I think. And it was just kind of like a boring corridor shooter that didn't really have very much going on at the time, I don't think. And I really didn't put any time into it because I was like, oh, all right, it's cool. It's another third-person shooter, I guess. And then I just kind of dropped it and didn't care. But that game, like, wow, there's a lot of shit in that fucking game. Like, holy shit. There's like, can you, like the movement in that game is so fun and fluid, and you just build up so momentum. You can get crazy fast. It's super fun. There's tons of shit to do. Like I got put off at the beginning because it's like, oh cool, I need to wait 12 hours to use my new gun that I spent like 2 hours trying to fucking make. But okay, I guess. And then like, you know, it turns out that gun is kind of shitty, and it's like, oh cool, I wasted 12 hours and a lot of my resources. But I learned that basically, like going to places, doing missions, killing shit, that shit's the grind, but that's like the core of the game. And once you get kind of past that first initial hump, like the very first thing I did is like, my friends had a really big clan, which is kind of like a base where you can like research different things and different weapons. And they had another like Warframe suit, another set of abilities that you can go get. And I spent all my money on that, and then, you know, we played together some more, and I spent another load of money on a whole bunch of new weapon blueprints so I can make new weapons, and I did that. So I've just been like, since then, since like hour 10 to 90 or something now, I don't know. I've just been using new weapons and just playing the game, you know, and it's been super fun because every weapon is like another, like, how do I make this work? You know, what mods can I put onto it? Does it need the shred so that it like shoots 2 times faster and has pierce, or do I take the multi-shot, you know, with this gun so that it has a chance to shoot multiple bullets out of one like pull of the trigger? Yeah, it's a whole thing, you know, and it's really fun to try to find ways to make shitty weapons work. And, you know, like it's just got this really, you know, very simple basic system of like, this enemy has resistance to more of the physical types of damage except pierce, and but corrosive will eat away all his armor right away. So like there's these elements to the game, both design wise and actual in-game like element damage, that really, you know, change up how you approach situations. And it's kind of like a lot like the Phantom Pain, you know, Metal Gear Solid 5, where it's kind of like, I have all of these options, and how do I approach this mission? You know what I mean? Do you want to go in stealth? Do you want to, you know, be sneaky? Do you want to bring your big ass guns, going guns blazing, bringing the fucking rocket launcher? You know what I mean? Like, you just have so many options and ways to approach things. As simple as go into the enemy base, which is pretty much every mission is going to the enemy base and kill shit. But it's like, do you want to go in and do you want to like sneak past, you know, the security, hack the systems, you know, go over the walls, you know, go in through like the tunnel air duct system, and then, you know, drop out halfway through the dungeon already, and then fucking like sneak kill your way past like 7 guards, and then free the dude who you're sent to save? Or do you want to go in there and just start blasting shit like blah 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 and just like kill your way over there? And then you finally, and then, you know, when they spot you and you're like into the near the capture target or whatever, they'll start trying to like kill him, and you gotta go find him real quick. You know, it's a fun game. It's fun. You know, there's different ways you can take it. Like, I've been playing this game for almost 100 hours, or maybe even more than that now. I don't feel like checking right now because I have to open Steam. But like, there's so many ways to go do shit, and it's so much fun to go do shit. You know what I mean? You know, it's just that beginning hump where you don't really have as many options as you do, you know, very sooner after. Like, the first 10 hours of the game, which is a lot of hours for some people, are the worst hours of the whole game, because you don't have anything, and you don't really have very many options, and the enemy types are very similar and boring. But after like that initial hump where you can start going to other planets and fighting other enemy types, and it's like, oh shit, that thing is like a weird tentacle monster, and it's healing everyone, I need to kill it first. You know, like little things like that that you don't really see at the beginning of the game. Like, I like 60 hours into the game, it was the first time I saw one specific enemy type that, you know, I had never seen before, and I was like, what the fuck is this guy doing here? And I didn't know how to fight it or anything. And then again, like 2-3 days ago, excuse me, Excuse me. Sorry. That came out of nowhere. Like 2-3 days ago, I was playing with my friends, and like I found another enemy type that I had just never seen before, and it was just like a robot dog that shot nukes out of its back, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And then it killed me in 1 second. And I was, but like it's crazy, you know. Like I'm still seeing new shit, and I'm probably at 100 hours by now. Like I've been playing it for a little, like more than a month now. You know, I'm trying to get my time in. And it's just like, whoa, like fucking that shit's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much shit in that game. It's crazy. And then like there's a story thing that happens. Like the game has spoilers. Like you can be spoiled on the plot of the fucking game. Like it's a free to play game, but like there's so much shit. Like there's two like huge quest lines that take like 2.5 hours to do, and they're just like cutscenes and like cinematic shit, and like there's like it's crazy. Like it's crazy. Like that game has movies built into it, and it's like, what the fuck? It's crazy. There's so much game. It's so good, and I never expected to have all that shit in this free to play game from the creators of those guys who made that shitty Star Trek game. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? That's been a lot of my time. That's been the grand majority of my time. Has been that. And then, well, I guess not the grand majority, but most of my free time, I should say, is going into that. And then I've been trying to get at least 2 hours of Final Fantasy 14 in. I recently got that specifically just to play with my friends. I know I'm not really into MMOs. Excuse me. I'm not really into MMOs. Yawning, sorry. I've never really been a fan of the grind. I think it's mostly just been the people I've been playing with, though. Because a lot of the people I've been playing with have been like, what's the word I'm looking for? I started playing World of Warcraft a long ass time ago. Like this wasn't recently at all. But it was kind of like, I was like, running around talking to people and killing shit's really boring. It's like, do we get to do anything later? And then the friend I was playing with was like, yeah. Once you get level 20, you can do this. And then that's when the game really starts. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I played till I got level 20. And then I was like, this is it. This is still kind of boring. I mean, we're just kind of, you know, going into like a cave and beating up shit as opposed to just walking around and beating up shit normally. And he's like, no, it's fine. At level 40, you unlock this, and that's where the real game starts. And I was like, fuck, okay. And then, you know, I'd get to that point, and then he was like, okay, now that you're level 40, you like now the real game starts. And I was like, okay, yeah, but what do I do now? And he's like, well, now you have to get level 60 so that you can go farm this specific gear so we can go do this quest. And that's where the fun starts. And it's like, dude, I don't want to, like, you can't keep goal setting or goal post moving or whatever it's called. And he's like, you know, fucking whatever. Like, and I was like, when do we start playing the fucking game? And he's like, this is the game. Like, and it's like, ugh. The difference is, like, with Warframe, I really enjoy the grind because it's just, you know, go play a third-person shooter where you're a ninja and fly through space and there's, like, a million things to do. But in a lot of MMOs, it's just, like, I'm going to stand here and I'm going to right-click this guy and now we're fighting and I'm going to watch these two poorly animated at each other just rub our dicks together until one of us falls over. And then you level up and it's like, cool, now I can hit Q during that phase. I'll just mash it because I only have one ability. And, like, the beginning of MMOs are terrible. And it's super boring. Anyway, 14 is a little bit less like that. The combat system, as far as I've seen, is a lot more engaging than a lot of other MMOs have been. At least to me, anyway. I keep smacking my lips, and I'm listening for it now, and I keep hearing myself do it. I'm sorry, guys. At least to me, it was a lot more interesting system. Like I've been playing Pugilist because all my friends are everything already. I'm joining late. And I was just like, sure, I guess. Pugilist, I don't know. I really do. Fuck, why am I yawning? Sorry. I didn't really, you know, go into it expecting very much, and I started playing Pugilist because I was like, I like to play characters who punch shit. I'm going to make an Atlas in Warframe to anybody who knows what that means, and that's going to be my main after a while. I'm still trying to get to him. Oh, fuck, I keep hearing it. Anyway. Physically trying not to smack my lips. And the way he works is basically every time you do a special attack, you enter a different stance, and those different stances will allow for different attacks after that. Or if you use other moves, they get different bonuses depending on what stats you're in. So, like, for example, the first 3 you get is like Raptor, and then like, I don't remember the names. Let's just go with like Raptor, Potato, and Dog stance. And it's like, you can only do your first ability puts you in Raptor, and then in order to use your second ability, you need to be in Raptor, and then in order to use your third ability, you need to be in Dog, and then when you're in Potato stance, if you use your first ability again and you're standing behind the enemy, you do bonus damage. Kind of like that. And then now I've gotten to the point where I've unlocked, another like 2 or 3 abilities, and I can only use this super like stun kick in my Potato stance, but then I'll lose my but if I do that, then I'll be put back into Raptor stance, and I'll lose my chance to get that bonus damage. You know what I mean? So there's little things like that I've noticed that are pretty interesting. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And from what I've seen other people do, like, it gets very flashy and like very spectacle-y. I don't know why the fuck I'm yawning. I'm sorry guys. It's just me today, just Sunny, just all Sunny cast. It's me. Oh, I never introduced myself. I don't give a shit. Excuse me. Anyway, I just started it. What's keeping me playing it right now is the story. I'm not super invested in the story, but like, I'm told it gets good, so I'm giving it an honest go. One of the things I do enjoy about that game are the Lalafell. For those who have no idea what I'm talking about, there's a species of character in Final Fantasy XIV that are maybe 2 to 3 feet tall and kind of like chubby, and they're incredibly adorable. And at some point in development of this game, somebody said, let's double down on this. And there's a lot of ludicrous shit that happens in that game where it's like, who did this? Who let this be a thing? Like, the very first Lalafell in the story that you ever see has like a sloppy buzz cut and like one of those curly Q mustaches that like ringmasters have in like carnival shit that you see on TV, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, why the fuck he's gotta have a mustache like that? Why is he doing that? And he makes like this weird like pedo face, and it's like, what the fuck? And then all my friends were like laughing, like, yeah, here we go. And then, excuse me, I need another drink of water. And then, like, you get to a point where you meet like a Lalafell princess, who's like a big part of the story, I would assume, because we spent a lot of time with her already. Excuse me. And she's literally gets carried around by her giant muscular fucking husband, like this huge ripped ass motherfucker, and he carries her around. And I'm not talking like cuddling her like a baby or like she's sitting on his shoulder. He literally has his arm like up to like his neck, like a butler bringing you fucking like cutlery. And she just rests her little body on his gigantic arm, and she's just like kicking her legs, she's just like her butt is on like the part of his arm behind his like wrist, you know what I mean? And she's just like kicking her arms, like she's not even like well seated or anything. And it's the craziest shit ever because no one says anything. Like, the princess is just being carried around on this giant muscular man's forearm or whatever that's called. And like, you're just having a regular conversation with people, and it's just like, is no one gonna say anything? Like, that this is a thing that's happening? And it's fucking hilarious. Excuse me. But that's cool. I want to see where that goes. Everyone I know, and even people I don't know who recommend this game, say that it's totally worth it. I guess I'll find out if it's worth it to me. I think it will be, just because I love to play with my friends. That's what it's all about for me. That's what I love. I've also been playing fight games. I always am playing fight games. I want to play more fight games. I wish I can just shut out the world and then just only play fight games all the time. But that's not real. That's not a thing I can do. The waifu main Street Fighter V, which isn't really my thing. I haven't really been the biggest fan of Street Fighter V for a while now. I just feel like that game has inherent flaws, and I wish like Capcom would work harder to make it better. But it is a good game. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I like that the tier list is really condensed in the past few months. Like that's good. That's always good. I like that. Like the core of what the game is fun and fast. And I think like it's kind of sad that it became popular to hate on Street Fighter V, because like there's people who say that Street Fighter 4 is faster and has more hype, and those people are just wrong. I mean, if that's your opinion, fucking whatever. This is America. At least I'm American. You believe whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. But that is a wrong state of mind, because anyone who says Street Fighter 4 isn't lame is wrong. Like, not lame as in a lame game, lame as in how you play it. Playing lame in Street Fighter 4 will take you insanely far. Like, holy shit. Like, anyone who says that Street Fighter 4 isn't lame has never seen Elena v Elena, and they both take healing, and it's super fucking boring. Oh god, 1 second. And now my other neighbor decided that I'm gonna wash my fucking car and boom fucking music loud. So, shit, I'm sorry if you hear that, because it's just gonna be like in the distance. Fuck me. Alright. Anyway, Street Fighter 5, I love it. It's a good game. My problem with it is, hold on. Sorry. I'm dying. Slowly, everybody. My problem with it is that I feel like it's very easy to make that game cooler and more fun. And when you look at like the cast, you can just physically see who they actually care about and who they're putting time into making better, and like who they want to make better. You know what I mean? Like, look at Zangief's Super, where like you can super obviously tell they didn't want to put the time into animating like an actual triple suplex. And it's like, oh, that's very lazy and boring. And then you see the Akuma's fucking Raging Demon, which is easily the best Raging Demon that like we've ever gotten, and it looks amazing. And it's like, really, you guys will do that, but you won't take, like, I've dabbled in 3D animation. It's not the hardest thing in the world. It's time consuming, yes, but it's not incredibly difficult. And Capcom is like a multi-million-dollar company. Like, they're a huge ass fucking gaming company, and like they can afford to do that. Like, why not? And there's so many like little quality of life things that are like, just do this. Like, it's not that hard. Where like you pick a character and their hair will just be clipping through their chest, and it's like, dude, just like solidify your objects. Like, I've done that shit before. Me. Like, and I'm an idiot. And I know how to fucking make my 3D models so that their bodies don't clip into themselves while they still have a decent amount of physics. Like, come on. Like, it's not hard. It's just time consuming. Put the time in. Put the effort in. Make your game look good. Playing King of Fighters, it didn't look great. The new one, when it first came out, it didn't look the greatest. Hey, that's what happens when it's a company's first time making a fucking 3D game. You give them a little slack. And then, they fucking do that shit, and then, like, they're like, okay, you guys don't like the graphics? Watch this. And then they turn that shit up to 11, and now the game looks fucking beautiful. That game looks amazing. And, like, there's so many little things that are just like, oh, man, that's so cool. Like, I fucking play Vanessa, and even though I'm terrible, it's fucking awesome when she wins, because, like, she takes off the glove on her hand and, like, shakes her hand out. And it's like, fucking, not a single character in Street Fighter 5 can take off an article of clothing. Like, fuck you. Balrog's never gonna take his glove off and have a hand under there. They didn't do that. They didn't put that work in. That's my problem with Street Fighter 5. It doesn't feel like they want to make Street Fighter 5, if that makes any sense. Like, especially because, in my opinion, it's easily the worst looking new age fighting game by far. Like, fucking Killer Instinct like came out years ago and is fucking just like, oh god, it's so pretty, so many particle effects, oh god, it's so good. And it's made by fucking, like, it's made by Microsoft, who put $0 fucking into it by comparison. And it's just like, how is this team making such a beautiful fucking game? And like the design, like the character designs in that game are awesome. They're fucking sick as fuck. Like and then like you go to Street Fighter 5 and it's just like, oh cool, Laura, she's got tits, and there's literally no other aspect to her personality or design. And it's like, all right, I guess they gave her like that little cross stitch in her hair, and I don't know what that's called, which is cool, I guess, but like the only reason that's there is because if they didn't do that, she'd have zero personality because she's just TNA. And there's like nothing else to her at all. Like, what is she? Is she supposed like to be cool? Is she trying to be like funny? Is she supposed to be sexy? Why is her voice so high pitched? Why is she like, you know, like arm wrestling Sean in the story mode? Like, what kind of personality does she have? You don't fucking know, because she doesn't have one. She's just tits, and it sucks. And I was really hyped for Laura back in the day when they first announced her, because I was like, oh cool, Sean's sister. I main Sean in Third Strike. Yay, Sean, he exists. And then, you know, I realized that, oh no, she's nothing. I mean, she's a good character and she's pretty fun to play sometimes. But it's like, her personality is just nothing. There's nothing in that character. There's zero depth. She's just tits. And it's like, oh man. Like, she has weird dialogue shit where she's like trying to be sexy, but at the same time she's like loud and like poppy and like trying to be cute. And it's like, these things don't mix, you know? Like, you can't have like a jury who's all like sadistic and like, yeah, we want to hurt you, like you can't have her be like what can I get, like, did you like how I served you, master, or something like that. Like just going into the opposite of like of being like, hurt me more or something. I don't know, fucking know. Like, if Jury popped a line where she was like, ding ding, there goes this round, it'd be like, what the fuck? And it doesn't make any sense for Jury to say either. I mean, fucking Jury. It doesn't make any sense for Laura to say that shit either. Meanwhile, fucking, like, in, like, King of Fighters, people, like, have different conversations with each other while they're fighting, and it's like, whoa, that's awesome. And fucking in Guilty Gear, you have unique fucking dialogue, like, per character fights and shit. And like different music will play when you have rival battles, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, why is there so much love in this game? And then like in and fucking Guilty Gear looks so amazing. Like, it's so beautiful. It's such an amazing and beautiful looking game. I'm gonna main Guilty Gear, by the way. This is where this whole conversation is going. I didn't mean to lambash Street Fighter 5 like this, and I love that game. I think it's really fun. It's just not the one I want to be playing all the time. You know what I mean? What else? King of Fighters 14. I want to put more time into that. I haven't had time. I want to play more Killer Instinct. I haven't had time. All of my friends picked up Guilty Gear, so I'm gonna put more time into that. I'm really looking forward to it. I want to learn how to play like every character except Bedman. Fuck Bedman. And I fucking love Guilty Gear. You know, I've been playing that shit since fucking PS2 days. Fucking PSP'd that game, and it was fucking super fun, and I love playing it with all of my friends, and I'm gonna do that again, and it's gonna be great. I'm excited because everyone's still kind of new to the game, and I haven't really been able to turn shit up to 11, if you know what I mean. Like I haven't been able to, you know, go on all cylinders, but you know, it's coming soon, because there's been a couple moments where, like, you know, like 6 or 7 rounds in, and you know, we get into the zone, and it's like, oh shit, like, this is a real fight. I actually have to like be serious for a little bit, you know, or else I might actually lose. You know, just trying to have a good time. I don't want to dissuade my friends from wanting to play. But yeah, they're getting close. Like, I'm no longer like, I haven't been reeling it in anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why I keep saying that now. I know what I mean. Anyway, I haven't really been reeling it in. You know, I haven't been easing it up on them. Like, when they first started, I was going maybe like 20-30% of my effort, and then now I'm already like at 80-90, and it's like, oh shit, that was fast. We're like, yeah, I actually have to try now, and you know, it's good. I'm happy that my friends are getting better and trying to get better and learning the game and having a good time. You know what I mean? Fuck. I'm gonna try not to say that anymore. So I've been going for a little while. I don't really know how long I'm gonna do this, because you know what? We're at the 40-minute mark. I'm pretty sure you guys are just as sick of my voice as I am of hearing it. So let me bring this to an end here. And I can't think of a better time to do this because I don't want to subject my friends to this once again, especially a number of them who have heard this a couple of times. So here it is, the triangle joke. So I'm gonna use the I'm gonna end this. I'm gonna end this podcast on the triangle joke. Here we go. So fuck, I hardly remember because I haven't done it in a long time. But here we go. So a long ass time ago, like back in like the medieval ages with knights and shit, there was this like this really big huge plot of land, right? Like miles and miles. It's huge. And in the middle, there was this like lake. It was a tiny lake, but it was always filled with fish. You know what I mean? Like there's so many, I don't know why I keep saying that. There was a lot of fish. There's so many fish in this little lake, and like all of the land was so fertile that like you can grow so much shit in it. like like whoa, there's so much fucking like the land was fucking valuable. Fucking like it had a nice stream in it, and that stream also had a shit ton of fish. Like there's so many fish. There's so many fish. There's so much food and grass. And it was just a really good hunk of land that, you know, if you grew crops on it, it would just be like these amazing badass crops. And for the longest time, like there was a big portion of that land that no one was using because there are these, you know, three kingdoms that were fighting for it. You know, like there was like the biggest, you know, country. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. There's the main, like the big country, you know, like the big guy, the rich folk, the biggest mercantile district. You know, the biggest, you know, group of people, the biggest land, the biggest lord. Then there's like the medium group, and then the smaller group by comparison. And all three of these guys, you know, in order to avoid war, have been splitting the land into like thirds. And there's just like a little hunk of land in the middle, including the lake that no one was using, because no one wanted to like step on anyone's toes and take up more of the land. And instead of going to war for this, they were trying to figure out a way to split up this land and have people, you know, finally be like, let's stop arguing, let's stop, you know, like being at this impasse. Let's solve this problem. And my dogs are barking. Hold on. Sorry about that. So it's been, I've skipped time a couple times. You guys probably won't be able to tell, but now it's about 6:30ish and people are getting out and going to work. So there's that. And my dogs are barking because, you know, if I'm up, they're up, and they don't like cars, I guess. Anyway, triangle joke. These people had decided that like we need to figure this out, because one day one of us is gonna, like, we're gonna go to war and people are gonna die, and like we want to avoid that. We want as few people to die as possible. So the three kingdoms decided to have like a big party, like a big ceremony. They all got together. They all came together for this, you know, there's, you know, a feast. You know, there's all this food, all this good time, party, music, wenches, everything you can want at a medieval party. They all got together, and they decided, like the three kings of these three kingdoms got together, and they said, let's just take our best knights, our best warriors, and have them duke it out, and whoever wins, whoever comes out on top, they are going to be the they're going to be whatever knight comes out on top will be the victor, and whoever's knight that belongs, whoever that knight, you know, serves, that'll be the owner of all this land. And then like the other two countries will become like, you know, city states or whatever, entitled to the main country that won. And they're like, you know what? Yeah, why not? Let's just get this over with. It's gonna happen eventually, and rather than just do it via a number of gory battles where tons of people lose their lives, let's just fucking do it. Let's just throw our best knights together, right? So, you know, the party goes on and people have a good time. Everyone goes back to their home, and, you know, a couple days pass, and then the kings, you know, are sending letters to each other and figure out, like, you know, a day and time. They get their shit together and they're like, let's do this. So the first of the three kingdoms. Let's start with the biggest one first. They gather 1,000 knights. He says, "All right, these 1,000 knights. These are gonna be my knights. These are my homies. These are the biggest. He's the best 1,000 knights." He gets them together and he's like, "All right, you guys got this. Trust me." And all the knights are like, "All right, let's go. We got this." And then the medium country, they get together and they're like, "All right, they got like 1,000 knights. That's not great. They can afford to do that. We can't afford to do that." So the medium country, the king goes across his little kingdom, his little serfdom, and he asks for money, and they go out and they hire as many knights as they possibly can, along with the knights that are already, you know, indentured to the country, and altogether they get 100 knights. And these knights are like mercenaries, you know. They don't owe themselves to any one king. They're freelancers, you know. So you got the freelance knights all together, and then the smallest kingdom, they only have one knight, and they say, "Sir Knight, you know, our hero, can you do this for us?" And the knight says, "All right, don't worry, I got this." So all the knights, you know, are starting to get their shit together, because, you know, the big battle is going to be in a couple days. And then one of the knights in the medium kingdom, you know, one of the mercenaries is like, "No, I don't want to fucking die for this shit." So he gets one of his little, you know, carrier pigeons, and he sends a message to the other generals of the other armies. He sends one to the one hero knight, and one to the giant rich kingdom's knights general. And it says, "Hey, before we start fighting, why don't we meet up and talk? I have an idea. And it will result with less people dying." And so the three generals all get together, you know, by themselves. It's just the three of them. The hero knight from the small kingdom, the rich general knight, and the mercenary knight. They're all together. And the mercenary knight's just like, all right. If you're anything like me, you don't want to fucking die for some kingdom that fucking doesn't give a shit about you. And the rich knight's like, "Yeah, I'm being paid a lot, but these guys could give a shit whether I live or die." And then the hero knight's like, "I'm just gonna do what I do." And then the mercenary knight's like, "Okay, but hear me out here. What if I said none of us have to die?" You know, and the other knights, you know, they give them, like, they rub their chin beards through their helmets, just pretend everyone's in For Honor costumes, and they're just scratching their fucking armor, right? And the mercenary knight goes, "What if," and hear me out here, "instead of us knights fighting, we all got our squires to do this for us, and just said, like, if you guys, you know, win and survive, you can become real knights." You know, and the hero knight's like, "I don't know, that seems kind of wrong." But the rich knight, who's getting paid, you know, fucking like a literal burlap sack with a dollar bill sign on it, is like, "Fuck it, yeah, I'll give less of my money to my squire, sure." And he's like, "All right, let's run this idea by our kingdoms, by our armies, and see what they think." And so they all go back. The rich knight goes to all his knight homies, and he's like, guys, don't worry, none of us are gonna fight." And then they're like, "What?" And he's like, "We're gonna have our squires do it." And they're like, "Oh yeah, woo, yeah!" And they're all having a fucking crazy ass time. And then the mercenary gets back, and he's like, "All right, all you squires, get together. This is it. This is your final test. If you really want to become a knight, then you're gonna be in that battle, right?" And then the hero knight, he gets back home, and his squire is there polishing his sword and like taking care. I guess not erotically, of course. He's like polishing his armor and equipment and shit, and keeping that shit up to gear, keeping it sharp. He's taking care of the horse, and he's doing all this shit while he's also got like some food cooking. And the hero comes back and he's like, listen, hey. And then Squire turns around. And he's like, yes, sir. Yeah, what do you need, sir? And then I think, hold on, dude, chill, like relax. I've trained you well, and we've known each other a long time. Ever since I owed that favor to your father. You've been like a son to me. And Squire's like, yeah, of course, man. Like, what's going on? And the knight's just like, it appears that soon, you're gonna cross that threshold into manhood. For it appears that an agreement has been made in order to save lives. That only squires are gonna be taking part in the battle in a few days. And this squire's just like, oh, and it dawns on him. Okay. And he's like, yeah, I just remember what I taught you, man. And he's like, yeah, man, I'll do my best. I'll try to, make you proud. And, a couple more days pass, the hero knights, trying to get it in as much lesson as he can to his squire. The mercenary knights are, getting their shit together, getting ready. So, as this shit's all going down, all of the rich kingdom knights don't tell their squires shit. You know what I mean? Like, only the knights know that only the squires are going to go into battle the next day. And they're like, all right. We're going to have a huge battle. So all of you squires get cooking. So they have the squires all the squires are between cooking dinner for over 1,000 nights. For 1,000 nights, they're cooking dinner. They're cleaning and prepping all of the horses for tomorrow. And battles in the morning. Excuse me. They're prepping the weapons, getting the armor and gear ready, making sure that it's clean, it's ready to go. They're getting like the flags and all that shit ready. They're getting sharpening the arrows, sharpening the blades, making sure the steel is good, making sure that the shields are all together, making sure the armor is quality. They're doing all this shit, and all these squires are just fucking working themselves to the bone, because they have no idea that they're going to be going alone into battle tomorrow. And then the small mercenary army is like, y'all bitches are gonna die tomorrow. Let's fucking party. And then all of them, they get all this booze, and they go to a brothel, and they got all these hoes, and they're just partying it up. They're just like, woo, they got that bar just going to town on that loot, and it's like, it's crazy. They're having a great ass time. Everybody's partying, everyone's getting laid. And then you got the hero knight, who's just like talking to his homie, just giving him some tips talking to his squire, giving him some tips on battle, And he's like, like, I've known you well, you're a good kid. And he's like, we should do something tonight, like this might be our last night together, where this could be it for our friendship, And the squire's like, yeah, all right, yeah, I get you. So the knight says, why don't you make some dinner, and I'll go catch us some dinner. And no, I fucked it up. The knight's like, why don't you make something like a broth or a soup for dinner, and I'll go get us like some meat. I'll go find a boar or like catch some fish or something. And the squire's like, yeah, all right. So the knight leaves, and the squire is like, okay. And he wants to make like a really awesome meal. And so he goes into town with like what little coin he has, and he buys this huge ass fucking cauldron, like this giant fucking pot. It's a huge ass fucking cauldron, like it's half as tall as he is. Like it's a huge ass witch's cauldron. And he brings it to the campsite, and he throws some chicken bones in there, and starts like boiling it with like beef bone and shit. He's making like a nice hearty broth. You know, he got some vegetables. He throws that in there. You know, a little bit of like just everything he can afford. You know, like onions, fucking celery, just as much just shit, carrots, corn, just throwing shit into this huge ass cauldron, just boiling it over the fire. And then, you know, the knight gets back and he's got like some meat. He's got, I don't know what he fucking got. He got like a deer or some shit. He's got, you know, the deer's too big. He's got like some fish. And, you know, he's like, he's like, why the fuck did you get such a giant cauldron? And he's like, I don't fucking know. Like, I got excited, you know? And he's like, dude, this is way too much food for us. And he's like, I'm sorry, dude, I got excited. And then the knight's like, fuck it, it's cool. And he throws the fish in there and like they're cooking and talking and having a good time, you know. And you know, they eventually serve themselves. You know, it's getting late at night now, and this is like the time the other two things are starting. With like the knights are like, get everything ready for us. So we're in the rich kingdom, and the party's barely starting out on the fucking mercenary side. And these guys are just, these two, the hero and his squire, are just like sitting down barely to eat, and they have a shit ton of soup because they got this huge ass fucking cauldron. You know, and they're just like eating, you know, having a good time. And the knight is just, you know, something like dawns on the knight, and he's like, we should save the soup. And then the squire's like, what do you mean? He's like, well, you know, you're like, I'm gonna see you again, and when you win, we should have this again as like a victory broth, because, you know, after a soup rests for a day, you know, it usually becomes more powerful, tastes better. And the squire's like, yeah, you're right. Like, you know, he gets what he's trying to tell him, you know. And, you know, but they have this huge ass cauldron, and he's like, how the fuck are we gonna save this soup though? You know, the knight's looking around. He's like, shit. I don't actually know. You know, they can't just leave it on the ground. Animals will hop in or like try to get some. You know, bugs will be a problem. So he gets like the pot, like the fucking cauldron top, you know, and he covers it, and like they tie it down, and they're like, okay, that way, you know, nothing's gonna get in. But how do we keep like bears and shit from just like ripping that shit open? And, you know, the squire, you know, he's looking around, you know, what they got, and he's like, well, what if we put it up in the tree, like all the way up there? Then, like, you know, it's less likely to get like broken into. And then, you know, the knight looks around, he looks for like a tall tree, and he's like, yeah, I can see that working. But how are we gonna get the fucking huge ass heavy cauldron full of soup up on top of that fucking tree? And this, you know, squire is just thinking, and he's like, I don't fucking know, dude. Well, how do we normally, you know, like, how do we put things high up normally? And, you know, the knight's trying to think of like a good thing. He's like, well, what's something heavy that we lift up? You know, like, think of an example. And the squire is like, oh, men, how do you hang a man? So the two of them are like, oh, yeah, that could work. So they set up this little rig at the bottom of this big tall ass tree, and they get all their rope together and make this huge ass fucking noose, like a giant fucking slip knot noose. And they slip it around the cauldron, and they tie it tight, and they fucking hoist that thing up high into the tree and fucking hoist it down, and it's just hanging up there in the fucking top of the tree. And they're like, yeah, no, nothing, you know, it's gonna get in there. You might have some birds, you know, some birds might shit on the fucking cauldron top, but, you know, the soup's gonna be alright till tomorrow. And then, you know, the knight's like, hey, man, like, good luck out there. Like, don't worry about like the horse or getting your shit together. Like, let me do that for you. Let me be your squire. And the squire's like, whoa, yeah, thanks, man. So, you know, they're talking and, you know, having heart to heart as the knight's like prepping the squire's sword and getting the horse ready for battle, getting the armor together. And then, you know, the morning comes, and, you know, today's the day. This is it. It's going down. There's 1,000 squires on one side, 100 squires on the other side, and 1 squire on the third side. And so begins this crazy battle. all these squires run up together, get together, they're battling. The fucking physically and like mentally exhausted squires from the Rich Kingdom, the fucking hungover and like just missing knights and fucking squires from the mercenary group. They're all just going to town, battling each other, going crazy. You know, the hero squire is going in there, he's fighting, he's giving it all his all. And then, you know, at the end of the day, you know, it's fucking middle of the afternoon, you know, the sun's almost about to set, and, you know, everything's kind of dying down. And all these dead bodies, there's all this blood. You know, it's like this, like at the end of the day, you know, the sun's about to set. You know, like shit's all this blood on the ground. You know, gory, bloody battle it was. You know, there's all these dead. You know, it's crazy. You know, it's all getting quiet. You know, and then you know somebody stands up among like the pile of the dead, and it's the hero squire, the hero's squire. You know, he stands up. And he lifts his sword up into the air, and everyone's looking at him like all the knights who tuned into the battle. And he's the only one left standing. Everyone else is dead. And then it came down, you know, it became doctrine. It wrote down in history that the squire of the hypotenuse is always going to be greater than the other two sides. Thank you, everybody. This has been this week's Moistcast with only Sunny, all the time. I hope you had a good time. Fucking, that was the triangle joke. That's it. We're calling it goodbye, everybody. I hope you had a good time. Just me, just the Sunny, all the time. Woo!